everybody. I'm sure I said that too early. My name is Casper Jones. I work for Life Skateboards, handcrafting high-quality skateboard decks. You can get one of your own if you go to lifeskateboard.com. Screenshot that. I don't know which direction it's pointing. If you're watching this after the live, thank you. You're getting my watch hours up. On the website, we've got over 77 shapes. We've got some unlisted shapes. Whatever you need, we can do it. We do everything in-house here at Life Skateboards. What you're going to watch me do today is load up all the presses, glue up veneer by hand, and you get to watch the board squeeze out. Now, I am replacing an old roller today. Always a little bit iffy while I'm doing those first veneers. I've already prepped all the layups today. Standard layups, we're going to have 4 of those in there. We've got 4 for the wide press, 2 for the long press, and then under here I've got 2 youth boards to throw in there. That's right, still you do youth boards. Here is the wide press, long press. There's the youth mold, and there's the standard press. Real quick before I get started with that, I'll show you in the shaping room here. This is where I normally am doing my lives. Here's all the templates. These are how the shapes of the decks get cut out. If Sam shows up, maybe I'll get... Here's all the curing uncuts, and here is our veneer storage. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get to it. If you guys have any questions about board making, anything at all, feel free to ask. Ooh. If you tuned into a live and caught my dog yesterday, she's great, isn't she? Ooh, but we're gonna go ahead and hop to these here. And if I look tired, it's because I'm tired. Last night I was just about to go to sleep when I got a text that said the local skate park was covered in rocks and sticks and dirt, so I had to go handle that. Ooh. And on top of that, we are planning a contest in Lawrence for the 4th. The city is doing their 4th Fest, their annual parade festival around the 4th inside the park that the skate park is located in. At 4 o'clock, we'll be doing a best trick. We started off with a $250 best trick provided by Lady Skate Squad and Show Rippy. But since then, we've gotten donations from Scratch House Kitchen and Catering, Mike Flynn, and Aubrey Sunshine. So now we are at $680 and a life deck for best trick on the 4th. So if you're local to the Midwest, come on out. Parking's going to be very, very difficult, but we'll make it happen. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. This is the first time the city has asked us to throw an event, so I really want to show out and show off for them. There's a bond for the park on the table right now that would include an expansion. If we do an expansion, I would love if we could lean towards a border qualification expansion so that we can have people traveling all the way to Lawrence, Indiana to be globally ranked in skateboarding. Kind of following in the footsteps of my buddy Dino Toll out in Effingham, Illinois. Oh. But enough about that. Let's talk about skateboards. What am I doing right now? I am hand rolling the glue on veneer that's going to become a life deck. Why do we hand roll the glue here? Well, the other option would be a glue machine. A glue machine can't get these veneers like this. They're crossbands. They also get both sides of the veneer so they don't hit the faces. And we don't think it's acceptable to not have full glue coverage on every ply. So we rather glue by hand and make sure you have a high quality deck than automate the process. Inside of your deck, you've got 7 pieces of maple. You've got a face, which is a pretty vertical grain, a core, which is another vertical grain, and then a crossband, which goes the opposite direction, like this one here. Hi there, Silas. Thank you for tuning in. And then another core, crossband, core, and your bottom face. So that totals up to 7 pieces of veneer. We can also do 6 and 8 plies. You'll see me do 6 plies for youth boards today, just makes them a little bit lighter for the kids. If you guys have any questions about the board making process, skateboarding, park advocacy, cleaning skate parks, whatever you'd like, feel free to ask. This is one of the steps where I can pretty much always get back with questions because I'm not working with loud equipment or anything. And yes, this is an awesome shirt. Is it just a bunch of Kirby's? Thank you Goodwill for being good to me. Yeah, I'm gonna show off my shirt, of course. Woo! I'm very tired, but I got some coffee right here, so I'll make that happen. So what I'm gonna do next is I've glued this whole thing up here. So I'm going to tape up either end so while it's inside of the press, it doesn't shift around. And then we're going to glue up 3 more of these. I'll change the camera angle over to the press. And you guys can watch the glue squeeze out the sides, watch me raise the presses by hand, and we'll move on to the next one. How much do they weigh? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't pull out the scale. Good question. Ooh. These are 1/16 inch plies, if that helps you out there. But as far as weight goes, I have no clue. I skate one of the boards out of our wide press pretty much every day, 7 plies. Sorry, I wish I had a better answer for that. I honestly wish I had a scale sitting right here so I could answer that question for you. Not something I've specifically looked into myself. Especially since it's going to vary a little bit from deck to deck. We're playing with wood. That's a variable material. So that question kind of gets a thought stirred here. I mean, maple, obviously we all want skateboards made out of maple. It's the best thing to make skateboards out of as far as all wood construction goes. But it matters where it comes from. It should be how tight the grains are depending on if it had long winters and slow growth. So I would assume that would also affect the weight. Tyson, I genuinely am curious now. But I would assume that from plant to plant it's going to affect the weight. That's just my assumption now. What am I making here? I'm making handcrafted skateboard decks. This will be loaded into the long press. Is it hard to make a skateboard? I don't know. So it's not very hard for me. You guys are going to watch me do it. If you watch some of my lives, you get to see all the technical difficulties I run into. You guys don't get to see all of the veneer prepping, pulling the layups, organizing the veneer into faces and core, unloading the presses and cleaning the molds off, which is just a step that I feel like it would be pretty boring for you all to watch. So I just kind of skipped that one. But it's fun. I enjoy it. It's still work, obviously. But I like it. I love my job. And if you're watching this and don't realize, you can get one of your own at lifeskateboard.com. We got over 77 shapes listed on the website. So Who knows, maybe you're watching me press one of your next boards. Who knows? Alright, about done with this one here. We're going to move it over, tape it up, and get on to the next two. And while that's going on, I'm going to refill some of this glue here. It uses a lot of glue to make a skateboard, especially starting out with a fresh roller. It likes to absorb a lot of it. And if you're curious on what happens after this, I did just post a full-length video on the steps of shaping. And if you'd like to see more things like this, feel free to share this with your friends. I'd greatly appreciate it. Watching my videos after the lives gets my watch hours up. I'm getting there, about halfway to my goal right now. I have been personally very busy, so there haven't been a lot of full-length videos outside of lives going out. So I do apologize for that. All right. What else should we discuss here? Let's see. There's not very many people on this live, so let's talk about some things. One of the things that I tend to get into on these live discussions here is talking about sobriety. I really enjoy using my experience to help people with their sobriety, and it's been really cool working with this company. The company was founded out of sobriety. Life Skateboards, it gave in a new life in skateboarding. So we're both pretty adamant about being there for people that need help with their sobriety and just kind of getting through things, using our experience to make sure that maybe one or two people get to live a little bit longer. That was a hard, weird way to put that. Using our experiences to help people when we can. That was a very strange way to put that. I apologize. But we know we wouldn't be here if we didn't quit, so we're just here to help people when they need it. And I do love working at a company that definitely cares about those things with me. Hey, Monica Hedgehog. Always fun seeing a familiar name on here. But hey, look at that. You must like this shirt, right? Figure somebody with his name is Bubonic Hedgehog would like this shirt. You're gonna jump from talking about sobriety to Kirby, because why not? I have squirrel brain, if you haven't realized that. I think my brain is just in a constant state of trying to skate, so it just sees things and jumps to it. I'm weird. Get over it. I'm arguing with nobody right now. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, I need to wake up. I swear, one of these days I'm actually going to get some good sleep. I swear, I'm going to be on these lives not looking like I have bags under my eyes and like I haven't slept in days. Sometime soon, guys. I swear. Ooh. Alright, about done with this one. What's my favorite trick? That's a great question. My favorite trick to do would either be a Miller flip or a 540 boneless. They feel amazing. Lately, forward moving 360 bonelesses too. Like down drops and stuff. But my favorite trick to see, and honestly that I don't have personally, I really like seeing a good hard flip, and I mean like a must good hard flip. My buddy AJ Ashley has amazing ones, but doesn't like being known for it. That or a good inward heel. I'm gonna extend the favorite part to things that I also don't have myself. So, taping this guy up, and I'll be right back. Then we got one more to glue up. I'll change the camera angle over. You guys watch the wide press go up, and then we're gonna glue up 2 longs, 2 youths. Let that go up, and then 4 standards. Hopefully Sam is back by then. If not, I'll probably end the live. I'm going to get some stuff done with my day and come back in to skateboard. Gotta get home to take care of the doggo. Would have brought her, but it is very hot outside right now. So I didn't feel comfortable leaving her out in the heat. She can enjoy the AC for the day. Your guys' favorite tricks. If you guys are watching, hop in my comments. Sounds like a fun thing. How about that, guys? Hop in there and tell me. I'm curious. I've got a strange bag of tricks, so always down to hear everybody else's opinions on skateboarding. But if I'm not going to get too many suggestions, I'm going to start talking about the park that I've gone to visit 3 times since last Saturday. Muncie Skate Park. Muncie, Indiana. The hometown of Life Skateboards. Sam's was making Life Skateboards in Muncie since 2012, and that's where the shop was when I started. When I was working there, the only thing to skate besides street was the bowl at our shop. And now that we moved, Muncie got their own park. Hunger Skate Parks built an amazing park, and it's only in phase 1. Let's see, we got my favorite trick that I can't land is 360 hard flip. One you can land is a tray flip. Those are good choices right there. But the Jeff DeChesere has those 360 hard flips that don't make sense. That's insane. But back to talking about Muncie. Hunger blew that park out. It blew it out of the water. I almost said blew it out of the park. It's got 2 great bowls, a nice flowy street section that's connected by transition, banks and curbs on either side. Really, really fun park. It's about an hour drive for me, and I have gone 3 times in the last week, just because I wanted to. They've got a really nice shade structure as well. Backs up right to the woods. Seems like there's locals like Marcus that are cleaning up the park no matter who leaves trash out there. It's been really nice. I got a chance to participate in that while I was up there. I know phase 2 and 3 are going to be a street section and a pump track, but man, that place is just really fun. Really nice bowls, really good transition. The rails are a perfect height. I love it. I know the locals up there love it. So if you're in northeast Indiana, go by Muncie Skate Park. Absolutely worth it. That's the only boards I skate. I skate every day. I ride for the company, so I skate quite a bit. I actually skate our blemished boards, so I personally skate the boards that aren't good enough to get to the customer. So that means it has like a split or a slight warp or something like that on it. But yeah, I love these boards. I'm gonna be honest, they feel different than a lot of other decks out there. It feels very awkward to put my feet on another board now. And I made that decision to switch over well before I worked here. All right, so that was the fourth board. We are done gluing up the boards for the wide press here. So I'm going to have to load these up. While I'm doing that, I'm going to discuss the importance of alignment and why I am focusing on that pretty heavily while I'm doing this. So here's our wide press. Let me extend the tripod. In the shop we had in Muncie, we had everything hooked up to air, and we don't have that hooked up yet. But the job's got to get done, so it gets done by hand. These plastic separators not only keep the glue off of the mold itself, but they keep the layups separate, so it's easier to pull them apart. They're a little bit cleaner. So what you're watching me do right now is make sure that the board is perfectly centered in the press. If the board is not centered in the press, it's going to give it uneven pressure. If it gives it uneven pressure, the board's not good, and we only make good boards here. You're watching the reasons why Life decks last a lot longer than most factory decks. Definitely all factory decks that are all wood construction. But the other part of that contributes to it is how we apply our graphics. Like that in there. Alignment, again, extremely, extremely important. These decks have to be inside the press. The inner molds need to be aligned very well. And then we can move on. Ouchies. So this is going to be a bit of a tight fit we're going to make work. Whenever there's a tight fit, it's always best to double check that I didn't throw anything out of alignment on the bottom. How do I know to do that? Because I've screwed up before. Sam handled a lot of the trial and error with board making when he started the company, but man, it still comes with a lot. Now that's taken care of, I'm going to find the proper size sticks, and then you guys are going to be watching right in between the plies. What you're going to be looking for is called squeeze out. It's the pretty colors start to squeeze out the side of the press. It's not going to be as pretty for this one. Oh, fascinating. Sunshine Scully. Thank you for tuning in. Glad something I'm doing is interesting to people. Alright. So now we're going to be raising this up by hand. I prepped these jacks before the heel, yeah. My switch heels look a lot better than my heel flips. Thanks for reminding me, JR. Just kidding. Thanks for tuning in, bud. I'm not kidding, though. My regular heel flips regularly get whiffed, like they look like absolute garbage. But my switch heels actually flip normal. It's weird, isn't it? Well, I'm glad you get to watch them. Now what you're watching right here is how small batch makers make our boards, because we care about quality over quantity. In factories, you're going to see a lot more than 2 inside of each mold. The reason we keep it to 2 is we want the concave to be the same throughout the stack. So now you're watching that squeeze out, by the way. You're learning while you're watching. But we don't like inconsistent concave. concave, and we are well known for our deep concave. So instead of putting 50 in between each mold, we're gonna put 2, that way you get the same ones. I don't like how P-Rod has an explanation about grabbing a certain number board from the stack at primitive. That just tells me that's inconsistent concave. So we do a lot of things a little bit differently than factory, just because we want our end product to be the best we can. All right, watching that glue squeeze out, nice and pretty, isn't it? That means there was enough. So, so now that this is in there, this will be under pressure for 24 hours, and then it'll sit in a stack of its own mold for 7 days. That long press and cure time has a lot to do with the quality that we end up making. All right. Whew. I'm tired. What we got here? Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, JR. We are. I'm a bit outspoken about the quality we do here. Now the glue is time sensitive, so I get to guys while I'm in between them. Gotta ask. Glue is tight bond too. The stuff that holds yachts together. It's gonna hold a yacht together. It's gonna hold your board together. Pretty damn good. And this is where all the boards get shaped. Like I said before, I did post a full video on that. I believe I got it posted yesterday morning. But yeah, our boards are extremely strong. Between the process that you just watched, the long press and cure times, and then lino block graphic application, we just want to make sure that you have a high quality end product. I'm about 1/3 of the way through my work day, so I was just checking if the boss man's here yet. So we're just gonna keep on working. Sam, if you're putting this live, tell me to clean my room or something. I don't know. He tells me to clean my room a lot because I leave this place a mess, and that's not okay. I need to do better. Anyway, on to longs. So we're gonna glue up 2 longs. These have the same concave as the press we just raised up, but the kicks are a little bit farther apart. Still 7 plies of maple. After we glue these 2 up, we're gonna hop over to gluing up youth boards. And those guys are 6 ply, and they're the same concave as our standard boards, but the kicks are a little bit closer together. Now we have a popsicle, a twin popsicle, 1990. A twin, which was inspired by the double vision shape. The youth punk point, and the Douglas for our youth shapes. As I've said a couple times, we got everything you want, we can make everything you need. I don't know, I might have not said that on this live, so that might have been pointless. Sorry. Let me wake up with Death Wish coffee here. I worked with them for a little bit, and then I don't, but I still drink it. Because it's damn good, and I will never turn down working with them again. They actually sponsored an event we were doing in November at Major Taylor Skate Park. That was pretty fun. But right before the contest, they messaged me and were like, hey, we can't be official sponsors because we can't be liable because I named the thing that they sponsored a death race and encouraged people to run into each other. And I was like, come on guys, it's okay. You already gave me stuff. I'm just gonna thank you. It went great. Somebody ate absolute shit on that race and they loved it. It was a great time. Feel free to ask any questions, guys. I'm just rambling here. This is a combination of sleep deprivation, loads of stress, good stress, it's worth it, and caffeinated energy. That's what we're dealing with today. That's the side of the cast where you guys get to see. We might be jumping down to 3 instead of 4 in the standard press, just looking at the amount of glue that I have here. Otherwise, I gotta go grab some more. Whew. And it looks like the viewers that are watching now have been shifted around since the beginning, where I was explaining why we are gluing by hand. So I'm going to go ahead and explain that again. Normally in a factory, you're going to see the veneer roll through a glue machine. That glue machine can't get both sides of this crossband because it'll roll up inside of it. It also only gets both sides of the straight veneer, so it can't get the faces. So that means the crossbands and the faces don't have glue on them, and they're just trusting that there's enough glue on that other piece of veneer to get full coverage. We don't trust that. So we want full glue coverage on every side of every ply inside your skateboard. So that's why you're watching me glue by hand here. And the results are pretty obvious. If you go to Google, look up Life Skateboards, and check our reviews, you're going to see our customers absolutely raving about us. And then you're going to find one negative review that I think is more of a positive review than a negative review anyway. Somebody was a little upset because our concave was too deep, apparently. We're really proud of our deep concave. They went out of their way to measure our concave for us. So I went ahead and used it. Yeah, I love it here. Great boards, great company. My boss is pretty neat. Boss has been skating since the 80s. I've been skating since, let's see, I don't know, 20-something years. 2005 maybe? I don't know, somewhere in there. Whew. It's like we're gonna have to reload the glue again, which means we're getting a little low. Where's my... That'll do. Whew. It's hot. I'm tired. Ooh, and don't forget, because if you want to get one of these decks, you just go to lifeskateboard.com and get what you want. We got you. Look for what you want. I promise you we can make you what you need. Hey, I'm sorry I don't speak French, nor can I read it. I'm sure probably less ignorant to my language than I am to yours. But thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoy watching. I know there are some guys over in Europe that are doing the same thing we're doing here, but I also know it's harder for you guys to get maple, so more power to those guys. Well, actually, I don't know. It might be harder for us to get maple up here soon. Oops. I'm not going to get into that. Alright, that's the last piece of veneer for the long, and now it's going to get a little colorful here. So, what you just watched was me glue up a bunch of 7-ply layups. The next layup is going to be a 6-ply for the kids. Makes it a little bit lighter, it flexes a little bit. And it takes a little less glue, so hopefully that helps us out with the plan here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, we got some dark brown veneer we're going to throw in these ones. I really like this veneer. I especially like how the Speedball ink mixes with it. A lot of this veneer, when you go to apply ink to it, it kind of absorbs a little bit of the dye for the veneer with the ink. So when you put white ink on this brown veneer, it kind of yellows it, gives it like a weird weathered look. I like it a lot. And there's the Sam. So that means I got more stuff to do after this. Be right back. Ask me a question. Except for the fact that somebody backed into my car. There's a crease I think I can... Yeah, it's the parking lot of a Kroger. Right underneath my... Yeah. Right underneath my gas cap.